history in theater. When discussing Black history, we see that many important people, places, and objects are left out. African American culture and the culture of the world suffers when such monumental topics are forgotten or simply omitted. One such area is African American theater. I, as well as many African Americans deeply involved in the theater, believe that Black culture would be enriched if there was more attention focused on musicals, plays, and other theatrical productions, especially those intertwined with African American history. Paul Carter Harrison, in his book, The Crisis of Black Theater Identity, argues that the reason African American theater is suffering so much is because it historically hasn't been accepted by the theater community. Harrison states that Black theater has often had to perform, and I quote, to the comfort zone of whites, end quote. This keeps African Americans from cultivating a true Black theater culture. Their genuine productions cannot be successful because the theatrical audience is mostly white, and watching diluted Black theater doesn't appeal to most of the Black community. In his article, Orderly and Disorderly Structures, Why Church and Sports Appeal to Black Americans and Theater Does Not, Professor Rhett S. Jones from Brown University discusses why Blacks choose to participate in sporting events and church services instead of the theater. He argues that theater is unpredictable in comparison to sports and church, which always follow a set pattern. He also argues that theater itself is a Euro-American form of entertainment that doesn't reflect African American heritage. Both Jones and Harrison believe that it is very important that there be an influx of African Americans in the theater profession, but why is this so important? Both the Black community and the theater community are robbed of the richness and fresh ideas that the Black theater brings. A hallmark example of this is the musical Hamilton, which fuses together Black culture with hip-hop, history, and the theater. This musical has grossed over $600 million in ticket sales since 2005 and has been nominated for over 40 awards, including multiple Tonys and a Grammy Award. Inviting more African Americans into this theater space makes room for future productions that could be just as popular as Hamilton. In addition to aiding the future of theater, a strong Black theater community increases awareness of important historical topics such as the Federal Theater Project. This was a relief program enacted by FDR to give work to theater professionals in 1935 under the Works Progress Administration. The director, Hallie Flanagan, created the living newspaper genre, which employed a huge cast, spectacular sets, and film to react to social and political news of the time period. The FTP provided numerous jobs for African Americans. This is a rich historical topic that many in the African American and theater communities don't know about. It is easy to see that there is a need to shine a light on Black theatrical history and a call for more African Americans to write, to perform, to sing, and to act. This course of action can only be a help to African American culture and to the theater community, and maybe even to America's society as a whole.